Karen from County Fairgrounds USA, countyfairgrounds.net. Welcome to today's podcast.
I have Zak Gardner, the wood carving guy, on the line with me.
Yes, you do.
Hi, Zak.
How are you doing, Kay? CoolKay.
Oh,
That's an awesome name.
Well, that's what I've been since I started. Okay.
Awesome.
So what is the name of your company?
My company name is Affordable Building Solutions.
Okay, and you're out of Colorado Springs?
Actually, I'm out of Vilas, Colorado.
Okay, all right. So you've been a chainsaw carver for how long?
I've been carving for about 10 years.
Okay. And you've had your company for how long?
This is a relatively new company. My family started about a little over a year ago.
So how did you get into chainsaw carving?
You know, one day I was out in the backyard with my boy, and we had just finished building some gardens, and I was trimming a tree to build a treehouse for him, and just kind of got inspired and thought, I wonder if I could carve a bear. And I did some research and gave it my shot, and it actually turned out pretty darn cool, and I think I was hooked then.
So you're self-taught?
Yes, I am.
So if you carved a bear, and you think it turned out pretty cool, what did you do after that?
I still have it. You know, honestly, I didn't really do it all that often. I kind of did it for friends, some family, and I've been in the construction business all of my life. So, you know, helping out customers, and sometimes they would want a piece or something, and I'd offer to do it for them. So it was really low-key for me for, you know, many years. And then last year, when construction prices tanked, it was really hard to build and stay busy doing that. So I kind of just shifted into doing the custom furniture and chainsaw carving full time. And then really word just got out there, and I got more busy than I ever planned doing it. And now it's full time.
Okay, so I haven't looked at the website. Do you sell these things on that website?
I do sell them online. Most of my customers are word of mouth from me, or they've seen me at a show or at a fair. I do a lot of those. I did this past year anyways.
Okay, so what fairs do you have coming up in that regard? I'm curious.
I believe there's a Christmas show coming up in Lamar, and then there's also another one, I want to say the 6th of January, and that's going to be an arts and crafts show.
So what's the hardest piece you've ever carved, do you think?
Oh, boy. So my favorite magnum opus piece that I did was a tortoise, a Galapagos tortoise. And that's the one singular piece I've spent the most on. Wanted it to be hyper-realistic. And so it turned out just beautiful. And the only carving I've ever kept was that very first bear I carved. The rest of them, you know, I like to carve them, and then I have them for a while until they sell, and I get to enjoy them for a little bit. But that tortoise, I thought, man, this is the one I think I'm going to keep. So I put a ridiculous price on it, and it lasted 2 days, and someone said, I absolutely have to have this.
That's kind of funny. So what kind of...
Luckily, it was a friend of mine, so I get to see it all the time.
What kind of tools? What kind of special tools do you use?
Mostly chainsaws. So it's like 95% chainsaw work with the stuff that I do. And then I'll use different angle grinders and die grinders to do a lot of the finish work, real high detail stuff. I like to put a lot of detail into my pieces.
And you sell them so at like craft fairs in the States? Is that what you do? Have you ever sold them out of state?
Yes. I have a piece that went to the Garden City Zoo over in Kansas.
Okay.
That one, I did a ring-tailed lemur for them, and it was really cool that they wanted to keep it there. And so if anybody ever gets a chance to go over there and see it, I was really proud of that one. I do sell them online, and I do ship. The one thing is that the bigger the piece, the harder they are to find appropriate shipping for lower cost, because prices can skyrocket, the heavier things can be. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. So
what's the biggest piece you ever made?
I spent 8 days carving a tree.
A tree.
And yeah, I carve a lot of trees for people, the ones that they kind of half cut down in their front yard and thought, oh, I'll do something cool with that. I'm the guy that they call, and I come in and do something cool with it. But I spent 8 days on a tree. It was probably, I'd want to say 15 feet tall, and top to bottom, just all the way around. Beautiful color, tons of stuff. The customer that I was doing it for, I picked up a lot of her personality, and I got a lot of the things that she wanted in there, and it was very patriotic, and it just had a lot of cool stuff. She's, loved the 70s, and I want to say not necessarily the hippie era, but she loved, the colors, the flowers, the love of it all. And so we got a lot of that incorporated in it, and it was a lot of detail, but that was the biggest one I've ever done.
So when you carve these things, do you put anything on them to help preserve the piece?
I use spar varathane. It is one of the best sealers in my opinion, indoor and outdoor. Obviously with outdoor and temperature changes and the sun, you have to maintain it, but with spar varathane, it really lowers that. It's got a good UV protectant. I have used, in some cases, a product called Defy, and that has a super high UV rating. So in places where it's just constant sun, that seems to protect them the best.
Okay.
And so it's just kind of a matter of what kind of finish you would like on it. So others have personally requested just an oil finish or a lacquer finish. So, but I prefer to use that spar varathane. I think it's the best well-rounded sealant.
So are you planning on keeping on doing this and selling pieces all around the country? I'm curious.
Oh, I absolutely hope so. I love my work. I love doing this. It's therapeutic for me. And so it's awesome to, kind of get ideas out of my head and get them into something, to have that outlet, but also to take ideas from people and maybe turn their imagination into something that they can have. So it's really rewarding work, and I really hope that I can continue to do it.
And you're completely self-taught. You've never had anybody teach you any of this?
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess I want to give respect to, I communicate with, chainsaw carvers around the world, and I will watch videos of other chainsaw carvers, and sometimes you pick up on some of their techniques when you struggle with things. Mm-hmm. So in that regard, I do learn from people, but I've never had a teacher, so to speak.
So have you ever tried to carve something that you thought you could carve and couldn't do it?
Yes. Quite recently, actually, someone had requested a Jesus Christ bust, and I'm really good with faces, just not as good with specific faces, and there's something about his face specifically that you either captured or you don't, and I gave it 3 tries. And my third try, it got about as close as I thought I could get with it, unless I just kept doing it over and over and over again. So the customer was happy with what I got. Yeah, it took me 3 tries to get it done.
Okay, so how many shows are you doing this season? It's Christmas season.
Oh, I know. So I know of the 2 that are coming up. This summer, I got so busy I could barely keep inventory. I just basically carved full time for 3 months straight. And so my sister's a partner in the business. So is my mother. My mother handles the, the administrative side of things. My sister's like my right hand. And, when we go and do shows, she's able to talk to the customers and man the booth, so to speak, so I can carve full time. I like putting on a show while I'm, at these fairs or shows, and people get to see live carving. Yeah, it's really awesome. And it's great when people, when I stop for a bit and people want to ask questions or see what kind of tools I'm using or, ask about a technique, or I even get to meet other chainsaw carvers that come by, and that's super rewarding. Yeah, so as far as next year goes, definitely all of the big ones here in Colorado, at least Southern Colorado. I've invites to the Pueblo Fair, the state fair, I should say, next year, which is really awesome. And then I've had a few people that want to sponsor me to go to some fairs in their area, just to kind of show off and advertise for them, which is great. So I'm really hoping that this year coming up is going to be a full year, and hope I'll come in with a little bit better prepared.
Okay, well, I wish you luck. So how do people reach you if they have an interest?
The easiest and best way to reach me is through Facebook, and that's Affordable Building Solutions on Facebook. The other way, would you like my phone number? They can call. I have the company number.
Whatever you want to leave. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and that's 719-203-2808. So either one of those ways is the best way to get a hold of me. I prefer Facebook because if I can't get to it immediately, one of my other partners can, and that way we can just make sure we're communicating. I take custom requests. That's the majority of my work, because people will say, hey, can you carve me this? And I'll say, yeah, and I'll kind of give them an estimate. We'll figure out what kind of wood and what size and how much detail and price range. So I'm very flexible, and like I said, I love doing ideas for other people. It's really fun.
Sounds like it. Thank you, Zak.
All right. Thank you, CoolKay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.